The desert was silent, hot, and empty. The sun burned above like fire in the sky. No one came here. No one wanted to. But Jace did. He was only 19, tall and thin, with sharp eyes and a stubborn heart. He came to the desert often, looking for old metal, broken machines, and sometimes even things no one could explain. He sold scrap to survive. That day, he found something different. He climbed a high dune and stopped. His eyes narrowed. Something shiny was half buried in the sand metal. But not rusty. It looked smooth and dark, like a piece of night sky fallen to earth. He ran down the dune and reached the strange object. As he brushed off the sand, he realized it wasn't just metal. It was a ship. But not like any human ship. The shape was wrong, curved, sharp, and silent. There were no windows, no doors. Symbols were carved on the side, glowing faintly blue. They looked alien. Jace's heart pounded. What is this? He whispered. He found a crack in the side, just wide enough to squeeze through. He took a deep breath, turned on his flashlight, and went inside. The air was cold and dry. Dust floated like fog. The walls inside the ship were covered with wires and glowing lines. Some parts blinked softly, like they were asleep. Then he saw it. At the center of a round room stood a suit of armor. It stood tall and still, black with silver lines. It didn't look broken. It didn't look old. It looked like it was waiting. Jace stepped closer. The armor was beautiful, but strange. It looked both human and alien at the same time. His hand moved forward slowly, but before he could touch it, the room lit up in blue light. A woman appeared. Not real, but a hologram. She floated in the air, her eyes glowing white. Her face was calm but serious. "Stop," she said. Jace froze. "Do not touch the armor," she said. Her voice echoed in the room. "It is not meant for you." "Who are you?" Jace asked. "I am Lyra," she said. "Guardian of the war armor. This suit is alive. It chooses its own host. You must not touch it." Jace stared at the armor, then back at her. "Alive?" he asked. "What does that mean?" "The armor was created in a war long before your world knew fire," she said. "It remembers pain. It remembers enemies. Once it binds to you, it will never let go." Jace laughed a little. "It's just a suit, a tool. I can handle it." "You are wrong," Lyra said, her voice sharp now. "Touch it, and you will carry a curse. You will be hunted. You will never be free." Jace looked at her, then at the armor again. "I can't just leave it here," he whispered. "This could change everything. I could sell it. Or maybe even use it." Lyra stepped closer. Her voice turned soft. "Please, leave now, let it sleep." But it was too late. The armor moved. Jace stepped back in shock. The suit opened. Its chest split wide. Arms raised like it was calling to him. A low hum filled the room. The air vibrated. "Stop!" Lyra shouted, but Jace didn't stop. Something pulled him closer. His hand reached out, almost against his will. His fingers touched the suit. In an instant, it jumped onto him. The armor wrapped around his body, fast as lightning. Black metal spread over his arms, chest, legs, every part of him. He screamed as it tightened, burning hot and ice cold at the same time. "Get it off!" he shouted. The suit locked into place. His eyes turned white for a second. The room flashed with blue light, then silence. Jace fell to the ground gasping. The armor was stuck to him. It didn't feel like wearing something. It felt like it was part of him now, breathing with him, moving with him. Lyra looked at him, her face full of fear and sadness. "I warned you," she whispered. "Now it's too late." Jace looked up. His voice was shaking. What have I done?" The ship's walls began to glow brighter. A soft alarm started to beep. Somewhere far away, something had been activated. A signal was sent. The armor had awakened. And now others would come. Pain. That was the first thing Jace felt. A deep, sharp pain, not just in his skin, but in his bones, his blood, his mind. He opened his eyes slowly. His body was lying on the ground outside the alien ship. The sun was low now, almost evening. The sky had turned gold. He didn't remember how he got out of the ship. His hands trembled as he tried to sit up. That's when he saw it again. The armor. It was still on him. Black metal covered his arms and chest. It looked thinner now, like it had melted into his skin. His reflection stared back at him from his arm, except his eyes glowed faint blue. Jace gasped. He tried to pull the armor off. He scratched, pulled, hit it with a rock. Nothing worked. It won't come off, a voice said. He spun around. No one there. I'm inside, the voice said again. Calm, cold. Jace froze. Who are you? He asked out loud. I am Zareth, the voice said. Weapon class armor. Born for war. Bound to you. Jace stood up, still breathing hard. This is crazy. This isn't real. It is very real, Zareth said. You touched me. Now we are one. Jace stumbled back toward his bike, trying to think. Maybe he was sick. Maybe this was a dream. But the armor felt too real, and the voice in his head was too clear. He started the bike and drove back home, his heart racing with every mile. At night, Jace lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. He had wrapped himself in a blanket, hiding the armor from his aunt. She thought he had sunburn. He stared at his hand. The armor was moving, changing. Tiny lines slid across his skin like silver veins. The pain was gone now. Instead, he felt ... stronger, sharper, alive in a new way. Then he heard a noise, a soft hum, like air being cut. He turned and saw her. Lyra. She was standing at the window, glowing faintly in the dark. You didn't listen, she said. Jace sat up quickly. How did you find me? I followed the armor's signal. It called out the moment you bonded with it. Jace stood. What is this thing? What is it doing to me? Lyra stepped closer. It is learning you. It's rewriting you. Soon, you'll be able to do things you never imagined. But the more it changes you, the harder it will be to return to the person you were. Jace's hands were shaking again. Can it kill me? Lyra paused. Not if you listen. Not if you train, but there's something else you need to know. What? She looked out the window. The armor is not just a weapon. It is a key, a map, a memory, and now that it's active, others will sense it. Jace frowned. Others? Lyra nodded slowly. The ones who want it back, or destroy it. Or destroy you. The next day, Jace woke up feeling different. He saw things more clearly. He could hear birds flying far away. When he punched a wall in frustration, it cracked like dry wood. Super strength? He asked aloud. Basic upgrade, Zareth replied inside his head. More will come. Jace rode his bike to the scrapyard, trying to act normal. But everything around him felt slower now. His mind moved fast. His reflexes were sharp. He caught a falling wrench without looking. Later that night, he stared at himself in the mirror. The armor had faded, now hiding under his skin like a shadow. It could appear when he called it. He whispered, "Armor on." At once, the black metal slid out across his arms and chest, forming again like liquid steel. Whoa! He felt powerful. Too powerful. But across the sky, far beyond Earth, someone else felt it too. A small ship drifted in black space. Inside it, a creature opened its red eyes. It had sharp teeth, dry cracked skin, and armor of bone. It sniffed the air like it could smell the signal from light years away. The weapon has awakened, it growled. It slammed a clawed fist on a console. Set course for Earth. Back on Earth, Jace sat on his roof, looking at the stars. Lyra appeared. Beside him, I need answers, he said. Why me? Why now? Lyra looked at him. Because you're human. And the armor was waiting for someone just like you. Jace laughed bitterly. I'm nobody, Lyra shook her head. That's what the last one said, before he became a legend. Jace stared at her. You're not telling me everything. Are you? She said nothing. Just looked up at the stars. Then, far above, something bright streaked across the night sky. A ship, coming fast. Lyra whispered, They're here. Lightning flashed across the sky with no clouds. It wasn't weather. It was a ship entering Earth's atmosphere without warning, tearing through the night like a blade, thousands of miles away. Jace didn't know it yet, but that ship had only one purpose, to find him. In a quiet room lit by moonlight, Jace stood in front of the mirror. The armor rested under his skin again, calm for now. He whispered, Armor on. With a soft sound like flowing water, the suit spread over his chest and arms. It was faster now, smoother, like it trusted him more each day, but it also felt heavier, like it was thinking, watching, maybe even waiting. He turned toward the open window. She was there again. Lyra. She stood with her back to him, staring up at the stars. Are you ever going to tell me the full truth? Jace asked. She didn't turn. Her voice was quiet. What part do you want to hear first? The part where you're changing? Or the part where everything you know is about to burn? Jace stepped forward. I want to know why you care. Now. She looked at him. Her eyes weren't just human. They glowed faint gold. Not bright like the armor. Old, tired, full of things she hadn't said yet. She spoke slowly. I was the last person to wear that armor and survive. Jace froze. What? Lyra nodded. 100 years ago. Another world. Another war. The armor chose me once, just like it chose you. But how are you still alive? He asked. The armor changed me, slowed time, kept me alive even after I lost everything. Jace tried to speak, but the words stuck. You said it was made for war, he finally said. Lyra nodded. More than that. It was made to be a god, a destroyer. That's why I gave it up. Then why didn't you destroy it? Jace asked, his voice rising. Why leave it on Earth? I didn't, she said. I buried it. But someone found it. Dug it up, sold the wreck for scrap. And now it's on you. Outside the city, on the edge of a black desert, the alien ship landed without a sound. A door slid open. A tall figure stepped out. Its skin was pale gray, muscles wrapped in bone armor. Its eyes were pure black. It sniffed the air. The signal was strong here. It would find the human and rip the armor off his corpse. Back in the city, Jace followed Lyra through underground tunnels. They walked in silence until they reached a sealed door with strange carvings. She placed her hand on it. The symbols glowed. The door slid open. Inside was a room full of forgotten alien tech. Screens, crystals, maps floating in the air. In the center stood a display of the armor's design, ancient, beautiful, dangerous. This is where I studied it, Lyra said. Where I learned what it truly is. Jace stared. Why show me this now? Because they're coming for you, she said, and you need to be ready. Jace trained in the hidden base for hours. Lyra taught him how to control the armor's basic systems, shields, vision, strength. But the more power he unlocked, the more something inside the armor seemed to wake up. It whispered to him in dreams. Flashes of fire, a broken moon, voices screaming in a language he didn't know, but somehow understood. Zareth, he whispered one night. Are these your memories? Yes, the armor answered. And soon they will be yours. Days passed. Then the storm came. Jace and Lyra were testing a jump ability when every light in the base went out. A silent warning echoed through the armor. Danger detected. Energy signature approaching. Hunter class. Lyra's face turned pale. They found us. Above the tunnels, something landed hard. Dust fell from the ceiling. The ground shook. Get back. She shouted. Jace didn't run. He looked up and whispered, armor. Full release. The suit surged forward, covering his whole body, even his face. This time, it felt different, like a second skin. Like a weapon ready to bite. A loud crash came from above. A huge figure dropped into the tunnel 7 feet tall, armored in. Bones with glowing eyes and a giant blade. Give me the armor, the creature growled. Jace stepped forward. You want it? He said, come take it. The fight exploded. The hunter moved like a beast, fast and brutal. But Jace had something more, instinct, precision, anger. He dodged, blocked, hit back. The armor reacted faster than thought, forming blades and shields. From his arms, but he wasn't strong enough yet. The hunter slammed him into a wall. Sparks flew. Jace groaned, almost blacking out. Then he saw her Lyra bleeding, pulling herself toward a control panel. No, Jace said. I won't let you hurt her. The armor surged. Something deep inside it snapped open. His body glowed. His eyes burned white. His arms turned to light. One strike, boom. The hunter flew back, crashing into solid rock. Smoke. Silence. Jace stood. Armor cracked, chest rising and falling. Lyra looked up at him, eyes wide. You just unlocked. Phase 2. Asterisk fire danced in the dark. Not real fire. It was memory burning through Jace's mind like a forgotten dream. Cities in flames. Skies full of alien ships. Screams that didn't sound human. Jace woke up gasping, drenched in sweat. The armor pulsed. Faintly under his skin. Another dream, he whispered. No, the voice replied. Zareth, a memory. Not yours, mine. Down in the hidden base, Lyra stood beside a broken console. Her arm was wrapped in bandages. The fight with the hunter had shaken her, but not surprised her. They sent a scout first, she said. Next will be a killer. Jace leaned against the wall, quiet. He felt different now. Like the armor had opened a door inside him, and he could never close it again. I don't think I'm human anymore, he said. Lyra looked at him. You're more than human. But that comes with a price. Far above Earth, beyond satellites and clouds, a ship the size of a city floated like a ghost. Inside it, a council of alien warlords stared at a glowing screen. The weapon is active again. One hissed. The host is human, another growled. He must be eliminated. From the shadows stepped a figure twice the size of a man, armored in living metal, eyes like black holes. He will not survive me, it said. The first hunter. Back in the city, Jace sat on the roof of an old building, watching the stars blink one by one. I didn't ask for this, he said. No one does, Zareth replied. But the armor chooses. It always chooses. He clenched his fists. His fingers sparked with light. Can I win against what's coming? Alone? No. Jace turned as Lyra climbed up beside him. She held a small device, glowing red. They've entered orbit, she said. One is coming. How long? Hours, maybe less. Later, the wind howled across the desert. Sand flew like knives in the dark. The first hunter landed with a thunderous boom. The ground cracked beneath its feet. Its armor hissed with steam. No words. No sound. Just purpose. It began walking. Each step burned the sand black. Jay stood in the middle of the scrapyard, heart pounding. This was where he found the armor. Now it might be where he died with it. Why here? He asked. Lyra checked a scanner. This place is where the signal is strongest. He'll come here. Jace looked down at his hands. He whispered, armor. Full release. Black metal slid out like shadows, wrapping him in power. He breathed deeper, slower. He wasn't ready. But there was no more time. The sky turned red. A shape appeared at the edge of the yard. 7 feet tall, covered in black and gold armor, carrying a blade that pulsed with red light. The first hunter. It spoke, voiced like thunder inside a cave. You wear the old god's skin. Take it off, or I will cut it from your bones. Jace stepped forward, heart racing. I'm not taking anything off. You want it? Come and try. The hunter didn't wait. It charged, too fast, too heavy. Jace barely rolled away. The blade sliced through a truck like paper. Jace jumped high, armor boosting his leap. He fired an energy blast. Boom, but the hunter blocked it with one hand. I thought you'd be stronger, the hunter said. I'm just getting started, Jace growled. The fight was brutal. Metal hit metal. Sparks exploded in the air. JACE . Speed was fast, but the hunter's power was massive. Every punch sent shockwaves through the ground. Cars flew, earth split. The armor adapted, forming shields, then a blade. But it wasn't enough. The hunter grabbed Jace and slammed him into a wall. Concrete shattered. Jace screamed. Inside his mind, Zareth's voice echoed. Let me help you. Release control. I can't, Jace shouted. You must. Jace closed his eyes, his fear, his pain, his doubt. He let go. The armor screamed. A wave of blue light exploded out from Jace's body. His form changed, sleeker, sharper. Wings of energy spread from his back. His eyes glowed white. The hunter stepped back for the first time, unsure. JACE moved too fast to see. He struck once. The hunter flew backward through metal, through fire, through steel. Jace floated above the ground, glowing. You want the armor? He said. Then fight the one who earned it. The battle lit up the desert sky. From far away, it looked like a storm had come to Earth. In the end, the first hunter was gone, his armor broken, his ship destroyed. Jace stood alone in the silence, breathing, bleeding, alive. Lyra arrived minutes later, stunned by the scene. You beat him, she whispered. No, Jace said. We did. But far above, the warlords watched through cold eyes. The first one failed. One said, send the next. Another replied, he's evolving too fast. A third leaned forward. We can't kill him yet. We must learn. Why the armor? Chose a human. Back on Earth, Jace sat beside Lyra, staring at the stars again. What am I becoming? He asked. Lyra didn't answer because the truth was, she didn't know either. He was not on Earth anymore. Not in body but in mind. Jace stood on a battlefield made of stone and ash. The sky above was cracked and red, as if it had been burning for 1,000 years. All around him, machines lay in ruins. Alien skeletons, fallen warships, torn flags. A world long dead. And in the middle of it all stood an army in black armor, just like his. He heard a whisper. This was the last planet we defended. He turned. No one there. Zareth? He asked. Yes, the armor replied from inside his thoughts. You asked what I am. I will show you. Jace walked through the memory. It felt real. The wind, the heat, the smell of fire and metal. He saw a tall figure in full armor, far more advanced than his, standing on a hill, holding a glowing spear. That was my last host, Zareth said. What happened to him? Jace asked. He won the war, Zareth answered, but he did not survive the peace. Back in the real world, Jace jolted awake. His heart was pounding. He sat up on a lab table deep inside the underground base. Lyra was beside him, typing on a screen. You saw it, didn't you? She said, without turning. He nodded. That place. Was that your home? No, Lyra said softly. That was one of the first worlds the armor was sent to protect. It always arrives when war is near. Are you saying Earth is next? Jace asked. Lyra turned, eyes cold. They don't send hunters for no reason. The enemy knows the armor is active again. That means one thing. She paused, They're preparing for another invasion. Hours later, Jace stood in front of a tall screen. Lyra was showing him a star map, dozens of planets marked in red. These are the worlds that fell when the armor was last used. She explained. Why didn't it save them? He asked. It tried, she said. But the hosts weren't ready. They were strong, but not human. Jace looked confused. Why does that matter? Because humans, she said, fight for more than survival. You fight with emotion, with stubbornness, with love. The armor doesn't understand that, but it needs it. Jace stared at the suit, now retracted into his skin again. He touched his chest, still feeling the pulse of it. I'm just a kid. From nowhere, he whispered. Why me? Because you didn't run from it, Lyra replied. And because you haven't broken yet. That night, it rained. The first time in weeks. Jace stood outside the bunker, looking up at the sky. Letting the water hit his face. Suddenly his eyes flashed blue. A wave of pain hit him. He dropped to his knees. The armor pulled him back into memory. Now he stood inside an ancient room. Dark, cold, silent. At the center was a massive door made of silver stone, covered in alien runes. Where are we now? Jace asked. This is where I was made, Zareth replied. The door opened. Inside, thousands of armor suits floated in tanks. Some were cracked, some alive, some screaming. What is this place? Jace whispered. A factory. A prison. A graveyard. Suddenly, Jace saw a child standing among them. A human child. It turned to look at him. Its eyes were white. Jace gasped. He woke up again. This time, Lyra looked worried. That wasn't just a memory, was it? No, Jace said slowly. It was something else. Something locked away. The armor's hiding things from me. Lyra nodded. It's testing you. Trying to see if you can handle what's coming. What was the child? He asked. I don't know, she said. But if the armor showed you that, it means it's important. Elsewhere, in a hidden part of the galaxy, a council of alien warlords gathered again. This time they were angry. The host survived the hunter. He is unlocking old data. He knows too much. We must act before he finds the truth. One of them, older than the others, spoke slowly. No, let him see. Let him remember. Because the more he knows, the more it will destroy him. Back on Earth, Jace stared into a mirror. His eyes flickered with strange symbols, just for a second. The armor was changing him, not just his body, but his mind. Suddenly, an alert rang through the base. Lyra rushed in. One of our satellites just went dark. What does that mean? Jace asked. Lyra looked at him grimly. It means another ship is coming. But this time, she said, it's not a hunter. It's a rescue team. Jace frowned. That's good, right? Lyra didn't answer. She just whispered, I hope so. But far above, the ship cut through space like a knife. And inside, it was a face Jace had never seen before. A man who looked just like him, but older. Colder. Wearing a suit that looked almost alive. Asterisk. The ship didn't roar. It whispered. It moved through space like a shadow, black and quiet, with no lights, no sound, no warnings. Inside, there were 6 people. Or at least, they looked like people. One of them stood by the window, staring down at Earth. His face was calm. His armor was smooth and silver. His eyes glowed pale white. He looked human. But he wasn't. Target acquired, he said softly. Retrieve the host. By force, if needed. Back on Earth, Jace couldn't sleep. Not because of nightmares this time, but because the armor wouldn't let him. Something had changed. It pulsed under his skin. It was nervous. Zareth? He whispered. I feel something, the voice said inside his head. Something familiar. Jace sat up. What do you mean? A presence I once knew, long ago. In the underground base, Lyra was checking live feeds from the sky. One image froze her cold. A ship was entering the upper atmosphere. No ID, no signal, no warning. She leaned forward. Her eyes narrowed. "I've seen that design before," she whispered. "It's not enemy tech." She paused. The ship landed softly in a remote part of the desert. From the dust, 6 figures stepped out, all wearing armor. All silent. The one in front took off his helmet. He looked exactly like Jace, older, sharper, and colder. Minutes later, Jace and Lyra stood at the edge of the canyon. The rescue team stood before them, their leader stepping forward. "Jace," the man said. "I'm Commander Rail. I came for you." Jace blinked. "How do you know my name?" Rail smiled. "Because I wore that armor before you." Jace stared. "You're lying." "I'm not," Rail said calmly. "The armor doesn't bond randomly. It chooses based on memory. You and we are connected." Zareth stirred inside Jace's mind. "Do not trust him," the voice said. "He betrayed me once before." Lyra stepped closer to Jace. "His team, they're not fully human." Rail raised a hand. "We're enhanced. Like you, we've evolved. That's why we can help you." Jace shook his head. "I don't need saving." "You will," Rail said, "when the others come." He stepped closer. "You've only unlocked Phase 2. The armor goes to Phase 5. We can help you reach it, or take it from you." That night, Rail and his team were invited into the base, but Lyra watched them closely. She whispered to Jace, "Something feels wrong." Rail sat by the old map of fallen worlds. He pointed at one planet. "This is where I failed." He looked up. "But you won't. Not if you come with us." Jace crossed his arms. "Why do you really want the armor?" Rail paused, then smiled. "Because Earth isn't the only target anymore." While they spoke, one of Rail's team sneaked deeper into the base. He placed a small device against the wall. A blinking red light began to flash. A beacon. Later, Jace walked alone to the surface. Stars filled the sky. Lyra followed him. "You're thinking of going with them," she said. "I want answers," Jace replied. "He has them. He also has lies," Lyra said. "You felt it too." Jace looked down at his hand. The armor flickered. "Zareth?" he asked. "Is he really like me?" The voice answered slowly. He was. Until he chose power over purpose. At dawn, everything changed. Jace woke to alarms. The base was shaking. Systems crashing. Lights flickering. "What's happening?" He shouted. Lyra pulled up the security feed. Rail and his team were gone, and so was half the data from the base. "They stole everything," Lyra said. "Blueprints, maps, weapon logs." Jace's blood ran cold. "He played us." Suddenly, a new signal appeared on the radar. Not Rail's ship. Something worse. Far above. In low orbit, a fleet of enemy warships moved into position. Why? Because the beacon planted by Rail had broadcast Jace's location to the entire galaxy. Inside the fleet, a new figure sat on the throne of black metal. He watched the hologram of Jace and smiled. "The human boy has unlocked Phase 2, he said. "Let us greet him before he reaches Phase 3. Back on Earth, Jace stood on a cliffside, watching the sky. It was beginning. The war, the real one, and this time, he wasn't sure if he would survive it. The sky bled fire, not from the sun, but from hundreds of warships cutting through Earth's atmosphere. Their engines carved trails of orange and red like comet tails. Below, the world held its breath. On a high cliff overlooking the sea, Jace stood alone, the wind tugging at his jacket. His armor lay hidden beneath his clothes, quiet for now. Behind him was Lyra, her eyes full of both fear and hope. "They're here," he said softly. "Not a question," Lyra nodded. "Every ship you saw tonight carries one thing, death. But you carry our last hope." Jace closed his eyes. He remembered all he had learned, the power of Phase 2, the memory of war, the betrayal among stars. Now he had to unlock something greater, dive far above. The alien fleet formed a dark halo around Earth. At their center hovered the mothership, a living fortress bristling with weapons. On its command deck, the warlord known only as the Sovereign. Watch Jace through a distant feed. He is ready, the Sovereign said. Let us welcome our destroyer. Back on the cliff, Jace opened his eyes. He raised his hand. The armor rippled under his skin, reacting to his will. He whispered, Phase 3. Armor. Awaken. In an instant, black metal burst forth. This time it was different. Plates stacked like feathers, wings of steel unfolding at his back, and a helm forming over his head. The suit glowed with a deep violet light. Lyra gasped. That's new. Jace flexed his wings. He felt energy humming through every limb. Strength, speed, clarity. The armor was alive and it was waking fully. Let's end this, he said. High. Above the cliff, a beam of light shot down. A small shuttle detached from the mothership and hurtled toward them. It landed with a shock wave that shook the ground. The hatch opened, and a soldier in bone-white armor stepped out. Rail, the man who betrayed them. His face was cold, his helmet visor reflecting Jace's glowing wings. Don't think I forgive you, Rail said. But I won't fight you today. Jace lowered his arms. Why are you here? Rail looked to Lyra. Because she asked me to help. You need every ally. Lyra frowned but said nothing. Rail turned back to Jace. The Sovereign won't stop. With a single weapon. He wants you broken, scattered. He used my team as bait to bring you out. Jace's wings twitched. Then let's give him the weapon he fears. The sea below them roared as more shuttles dropped soldiers. Behind Jace, Lyra activated a hidden portal, a shimmering circle of light. It opened to the ruins of the old warforges, deep beneath the desert. I found this place when I studied the armor, she said. It's built on alien engines. We can use it to fight back. Jace nodded once. Lead the way. Together, they stepped through the portal, arriving in a vast hangar of twisted metal and broken machinery. Ancient conduits thrummed with power. In the center lay a gigantic cannon, a weapon large enough to fire across space. Lyra ran to a control panel. This is the forge cannon, the last line of defense. It can pierce any shield, but it needs a living conduit. That's you. Jace looked at the cannon, then at Lyra. It's a long shot. Only chance, she said. He turned toward the portal. Shadows gathered beyond it, soldiers streaming in. The hunter fleet was coming for them. Jace took a deep breath. The armor hummed soothingly. Let's do it. Lyra began her final calculations. Sparks flew as she tapped commands. The cannon's energy coils lit up. Jace placed his palms on two glowing handles. The armor's wings folded into his back, connecting to the cannon's power grid. Link established. The cannon whispered in Jace's mind. Below, the alien soldiers charged through the portal. They raised their weapons. Jace closed his eyes. He felt Zareth's voice. This is our purpose. This is the moment. He opened his eyes. Purple light flared from his palms. The cannon activated. It rumbled, then lifted slightly off the ground. Aimed at the sky, Lyra shouted over the pandemonium. Fire when ready. Jace focused. His heart pounded with every memory of war and hope. He let all his strength, all his fear, all his humanity flow into the cannon. Now! He yelled. A beam of pure violet light shot upward, cutting through clouds and into space. It struck the mothership's shield. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the shield cracked. Fiery sparks exploded across the hull. The Sovereign's console alarms screeched in panic. Below, the alien soldiers staggered, their helmets cracking. The beam pulsed again stronger. It split into multiple bolts, targeting every ship in the fleet. One by one, warships fell. The Sky lit up with explosions like fireworks. The mothership shuddered, then began to break apart. Jace slumped against the cannon as the portal closed itself. The hangar fell silent. He looked at Lyra. She was breathing hard, tears in her eyes. "We did it," she said softly. Outside, Earth's night sky glowed with victory and ruin. The alien fleet had been decimated. The mothership lay broken, a ghost of metal drifting down from the ground. Humanity looked up in wonder and terror. Jace stepped out of the portal. The wind tugged at his armor's feathers. He stood tall, more than human, more than weapon. Lyra joined him. She placed a hand on his arm. "You saved us all." Jace looked at the cratered horizon. "The armor saved me." She shook her head. "You saved yourself, Jace. You fought with your heart." In the distance, Rael's shuttle lifted off, headed for the broken remains of the mothership. He saluted once, then flew away. Lyra watched him go. "Can we trust him?" Jace smiled faintly. "He has his own war to fight now." The morning sun rose over the desert. The world had changed. People would rebuild. They would remember the night the sky bled fire and the boy who became the last weapon. Jace and Lyra walked away from the cliff, toward a new dawn. He looked at his armor, now dim and calm beneath his skin. It had one final whisper for him. "Thank you, host." And Jace knew the story was over, but the legend had only begun.